Hello, Fermented folks. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Fermented Fiction, the podcast where we talk about genre fiction and we drink beer. And that's about it. Thank you to Special Brews for giving us that beer. And thank you, Cascade Writers, for letting us be your podcast and existing in general. Now, in this show, we have a few segments, the first of which is personal updates.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what's going on with me, Clifford Mullum, and Travis, the co-host over there. Travis, what you got?
Oh, no. I wasn't fully prepared. Like, I feel like a lot of weeks we are. But, personal update. I am tracking my book progress on Goodreads for the year 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I put it in a journal, like handwritten. And I've learned I don't love Goodreads. I hate the... Here's why I don't. We're going to turn this into a bit of a... Here's why I don't like it.
Oh, good.
Let's tear into Goodreads here. Yeah, why not?
I don't like
Give them what for.
I don't like Goodreads because I feel like social media, TikTok especially, Goodreads especially, have made reading into this like competition a lot of the times where you can't like read just because you want to read. People are like, especially on TikTok, people are like, oh, I read 110 fantasy books this year. And I'm like, dude, do not set that standard for me. That's impossible. And I'll see that on Goodreads too, where I have friends that are like, oh, my goals for the year are 80 books. It's like, I got to that point in the past where I was trying to read like 80 books in a year, and it just became, I was like looking to the next book while halfway through one book.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta finish this book so that I can start my next book. And that's not the point. So I set...
That's how you get the literary equivalent of abs, though.
Yeah.
True.
But I don't know. I do like Goodreads they have a progress report on your books for the year. You can set a yearly reading goal. So I set mine at 52. And I'm on track. And I'm tracking that. I have read 6 books as of the week we're talking about stuff. The week this episode previews, I've probably read more, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my life update.
This show is good for reading lists. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Colin's going to crack a beer on here.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll want to get that.
I like that Goodreads is a social media platform built around reading and writing, and book reviews.
If they got their ISBN settings right.
Oh! I didn't know this was going to be just a whole good.
I guess everybody hates Goodreads. That's how we're doing this.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate you, Goodreads.
I don't like what it
You're
is.
still Amazon bottom.
TikTok is worse for competitive reading.
Yeah.
See, I think you're just doing your algorithm wrong.
He does a lot of BookTube. And BookTube's going to do that. It's going to get into the competitive reading situation sometimes.
Just look up some obscure other talks and just get them in there.
Reading should not be competitive.
Okay. Maybe.
What a socialist.
What's your life?
Do you think these people are always trying to be competitive, or do you think they're proud? And is that allowed, or no?
I think they're probably proud. I think I follow a couple of them that are definitely just proud and definitely just read a lot, and that's what they do for their free time, and it's awesome. I follow this one lady, I forget her name, but she reads like 120 books a year, but like I have never gotten a sense from her channel. She reads like 4 books a week.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's really fast, and that's like what she does, and it's insane. But I get the sense from other people that it's like, yeah, that your I don't know, you have to like power through your TBR, and it's like, sometimes I just don't want to finish a book, And maybe
Well, the only thing that makes you smart and interesting is how many books you've read. Obviously.
Or how many books you can make it seem like you've read.
No one's going to have sex with you if you don't read books.
Better for me.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad about the audiobook came along. Now I can say I've read lots of books, and who are you to say I haven't?
Like, I wouldn't have got through Moby Dick if I didn't have an audiobook.
I can talk about them.
I mean, I would still just skip Moby Dick.
Yeah, that's skippable.
Probably just.
What, you like Moby
These
Dick over there?
heathens in this room. that
Wow,
I'm
this
stuck
guy.
with.
Yeah.
These unwashed, uncouth barnacles.
I'm paid. What are you talking about?
Fiddlesticks.
This guy is always like, it's too slow, it's too boring. And then he's like, I love Moby Dick.
Uncouth names.
Whatever, Colin. Get the out of here, man. There's no way you like Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Am I the only one with an English degree here?
No.
No. There's three of us. There's actually three of us here.
Yeah.
There's only one person who doesn't have that. Be
Yeah.
cool.
And he loved Moby
I think
Dick.
that's pronounced Moby.
In space have landed. Their names are Colin.
Anyway.
All of them.
Anyway, what is your life update?
I love Goodreads. Go Goodreads.
And turtles.
That's what I say.
That's totals.
And I actually do. I like Twitter too, so sue me.
Oh, God.
Actually, you can't really edit that out, can you? You have to give it a little blur.
We can blur. I guess I have to blur the middle fingers from the last episode.
No,
too.
we blew all of our special effects on the last episode.
Yeah.
The Yu-Gi-Oh portion for Travis.
It was important.
Now we have to do it again. Go back to the trap card.
In a row.
Yeah.
I want speed lines, by the way, when I said that Goodreads line, because that was a fucking banger, dude. All right, moving on. Part 2 of the show. The part that Pedro Pascal comes for, the part that Pedro Pascal loves, and the part that hashtag Pedro Pascal loves us for.
We love you, Pedro.
We love you, Pedro. Thank you, Pedro.
I mean, whoever rolls higher prayed harder to the Pedro.
That's true. And
Yeah,
I
that
prayed
makes sense.
pretty hard today, so we'll see. This segment is called White.
Oh, that's what it's called.
This segment is
Take
not
that out of
called White.
context.
Travis should have a white dice, is what I was trying to say there. This segment is called Forced Entrollment. Thank you, Philip Ridgers.
Travis, like H.P. Lovecraft, prefers the white die.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
We don't need to be making comparisons with people on our show.
Let's
HP Lovecraft.
stop that.
I think that would be bad.
I thought it was just because he came back more powerful last episode, like he was Gandalf or something.
I don't think H.P. Lovecraft did that.
No,
I think he came back. Oh, yeah,
Because he won one.
he did. Let's see if he can do it again. Forced Entrollment. We're both going to roll these dice. That's why we made a big thing about showing you them. The low roll will attack whatever we're talking about today. The high roll will defend it, no matter what we actually think. Travis, what are we talking about today?
Disturbia.
Hey,
What's the year? 1 minute.
2008!
Don't tell me.
Pretty sure it's 07.
He did.
I said don't tell me. 2007.
Suck it.
That was 8.
Shia LaBeouf thriller that is, noir. What is that? Voyeurism? Isn't that the
Yeah.
voyeurism?
Oh, yeah, he's doing a whole rear window thing.
Yeah, rear window type thriller about a kid on house arrest for punching his teacher in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Granted, this is not spoilers in my opinion, and this doesn't even get into my opinion of the movie. The teacher deserved it.
Sure.
It
Kind of-
is about a
Kind of a
kid on
call.
house arrest for that who is spying on his neighbors, and one of them might be a serial killer. That's the story.
Might be.
Could be. You know?
I also don't think it's spoilers to just say that that is the most transparently serial killer person maybe in cinema history. Okay.
Maybe.
So, Disturbia, we're getting into it. We got dice. Jeremy, is that on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, snap.
Sit down.
What'd you get?
Nat 20.
Okay, well, I want the Yu-Gi-Oh effect again, because I got...
That's absolutely beautiful.
Good God.
We should do something for when you get a Nat 1. What would we do?
I don't know. People in the comments, let us know.
Yeah!
Wait a minute. Get right
Do
in.
that episode.
You drink a twisted tea.
What if when you roll a Nat 1, you have to let Jeremy argue for you?
Oh.
No.
Well, you don't think I can, lay into a movie I haven't seen in a decade? Oh.
We got the gloves up. All right, we're ready for our timer.
Oh, yeah.
We're here. We're going to do some enrollment.
Oh, yeah. Want a good, clean, legendary fight with Shia LaBeouf. Or whatever. In 3, 2, 1, go.
This movie is very nostalgic for me. I was, I think, 18, maybe 17 when it came out. So, though I didn't grow up in the suburbs, per se, I did grow up in a, kind of out in the country. Definitely in a very, primarily white school and everything. And the feeling of, feeling trapped within your youthful circumstances is a very real thing that I think a lot of young people feel, no matter where they grow up or what circumstances they grow up underneath. And this isn't to say I had any kind of a bad childhood or anything. I did not, but I definitely felt trapped where I was and always wanted to, go out and explore beyond my boundaries and discover new things. And we all want to meet the awesome girl next door. So I think there's a lot of dream realization and nostalgia that comes back to me when I watch Disturbia. Not to mention, I think this show actually really flies under the radar for being a much better movie than it gets credit for. Because I think on the surface, it looks like a pretty surface level movie in a lot of ways. It is like Suburbia. It's a serial killer movie. It's a teenager movie with famous 25-year-olds playing the teenagers. And in all these ways, it's a pretty typical slasher on the surface. But when you actually watch it, there is a lot of improv dialogue. There's a lot of incredible performances. There's a lot of great comedic relief, awesome editing, awesome timing of the dialogue, the sequence of events, the tension, the release of tension, the tension, the release of tension, the basic storytelling elements in this movie are very, very solidly done. And I think it's a good example of how you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel to make a really good movie. I don't think that this movie particularly reinvents anything or blows anybody's mind per se. It's a pretty basic hero journey with sort of a negative character arc that trends back up at the end. But overall, yeah, I really think it just is a great example of how you can take a simple idea, like kid stuck at home, watches neighbors, sees neighbors doing unsavory things. It's pretty basic. And then with great performances, with a great script, with a great camera team, and KISS. Keep it simple, silly. It works out great. And I love this movie. Brings me back.
It was the opposite for me. I mean, I remember loving this movie. Then I rewatched it, and it is the equivalent of watching Shia LaBeouf just do a Spartan race for an hour and 40 minutes. That being that he's just trying his best. And my God, is he going for broke. And he is the best part of this movie. Shia LaBeouf's performance. It does its best with a bare bones crap script. Terrible direction by DJ Caruso, who famously also directed I Am Number 4, terrible movie, and Triple X, the legend.
That is bad. That is bad. Though I would argue I Am Number 4 is not famous.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Want to mention
More
another,
films.
Ashley, who is played by Sarah Roemer. Oh my God, I forgot how bad he is. Like, the first half, and that's not even an exaggeration, the literal first half of this movie is just a teenage romance story. And then you get into, like, maybe he's killed somebody, the neighbor. And I thought that half was exaggeration, and then I watched exactly where I stopped my rewatch, and it's halfway through. It's because I was sick of rewatching that teenage romance story. And it's not thrilling. I love a good slow burn. I've said that before on the show, that slow burn horror is my favorite horror. But slow burn horror has to build tension, and I had no tension. I didn't care. And maybe it's because I was rewatching it and I knew what happened. But there's no point in which I actually think Shia LaBeouf his character is in danger in the entire first half of the movie. It's not until you get this, like, all of a sudden things escalate for the second half. That's not what slowborn horror should do. Slowborn horror should, like, build that imminent danger piece by piece and step by step throughout the entire arc of the film. And to me, this movie, in a very PG-13 horror movie style, is just like an entirely different character building story. And then, oh my God, everything's terrifying and awful and it's horror and blah, in the second half, like all of a sudden. And I didn't like that. I thought most of the performances were subpar at best, except Shia. He's always good. He's Shia. But yeah, it was a PG-13 paint by numbers thriller that was not well executed. I got very bored.
Wow. I mean, they're dropping hints that he is a killer throughout the early portions of the movie. But aside from that, I think it actually does a good job of taking the romance portion of the movie and having it sort of mirror the dynamic that the serial killer has with his victims, because you can see through his interactions with the women that he brings over to his house that they are very much like in the zone with him, like they are very attracted to him, charmed by him, and then all of a sudden it goes completely downhill. And I think the narrative between Shia and his girl next door, I can't remember her name in the movie, I haven't watched it for a little while, but I think they do a really good job of, the movie kind of mimics itself in that way, and it sort of builds up slowly throughout.
I don't think you see those scenes. You see one scene where they're like recording him through his window, and he's like talking to this girl and like tries to kiss her, and then she like backs away, and then they dance, and he's all seductive. That's it. That's the only establishing shot you ever get of the neighbor being a creep. And then you get a scene of him like flirting with the mom. And here's the thought I had this entire film. Like, it's hard to not make comparisons. Everything this movie tried to do, the remake of Fright Night did 50 times better 6 years later. Like, it's essentially the same plot. And like, to your point of, it's fine to paint by numbers as well, as long as you execute well. Fright Night does that miles better than Disturbia. You still get the teenage romance. You still get the kid at home creeping on his neighbor kind of thing. You still get the... But it actually, like, develops it throughout the entire arc. Whereas this, I felt like I would have rather watched a movie about Shia and his dad that dies in the first 10 seconds. First 10 minutes. I would have rather watched that movie where Shia got to, like, express his acting chops as a kid who's on house arrest because of this disturbed, like the whole serial killer plot seems so second nature to just me watching Shia's character struggle through his depression of his father's death. And that shouldn't be the point of a thriller.
But I think you're missing the point of the serial killer. I think the serial killer represents one of the dark sides of suburbia, which is kind of what Disturbia is all about. I mean, Shia LaBeouf's character's on house arrest for a reason. He's not just on it because it's convenient. He's on house arrest because he represents that feeling of feeling trapped as a kid in the suburbs. You know, it's supposed to be this place that's all pristine and beautiful, but the thing about the suburbs that kind of sucks is there's nothing there except for people's homes. And in a lot of ways, that makes it a cage because you can't go like 2 inches over your own property or on your neighbor's property, you know, and you might have a good relationship with your neighbors, but you don't always know who your neighbors are. And that's the rest of the dark side of suburbia. You don't know what's going on behind these closed doors. And we hear all these stories about things that happen in suburban neighborhoods, especially serial killers. That happens all the time. And I think that is a big point that needs to be acknowledged here. Is I think that's what the serial killer plot line is all representative of. It's like you don't know who your neighbors are sometimes. And there's horror there.
Beer of the week.
Hey.
Sup? That's Jeremy and Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to drink a bunch of harp for our next one.
Slam it, brah.
Yeah, slam that.
All right, I'm gonna go get mine. Travis, what do you got?
Join me.
What have you got there?
It's the same that he had last
You know?
episode. Still working on the growler.
It is a Belgian, another Belgian. It is brewed in Golden, Colorado, but I'm going to pretend that it is named after a lovely bar in Flathead Valley, about 14 from our grandparents' lake house, and that is the Blue Man.
Hey, isn't that a bar?
We love
That's a funny bar.
But where's your slice of orange?
Yeah.
I don't-
Come on now. Everything's better with boozy fruit.
He doesn't read Moby Dick, and he doesn't put an orange with his Blue Moon.
I never
He's
said
read Moby Dick.
You see, they were crapping on Moby Dick. I don't mind Moby Dick. It's not a bad book. I think it's too long.
It's way too long.
It is way too long.
It's an entire book too long.
But I mean, Herman Melville is no Nathaniel Hawthorne. Like, you want to talk about boring? Oh my God. The
Sure.
House of Seven Gables is how anyone can get through the first chapter. Anyway, that's off topic.
I feel like that's one of those books that English teachers make us read because they had to, and they're still
Right.
salty about it.
Yeah.
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 We got
Hey,
Winterhook.
here you go, kids.
What?
Here you go, kids. Here's this book, and the first chapter is 50 pages describing a house.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You won't even read this many pages about a house when you buy your own house.
Yeah.
The book is why Square Notes exists.
Okay, here's what we got. We got WinterShook Winter Ale from Red Hook Brewery.
Did you add an S to that?
I don't think so. Winterhook?
Yeah, that's just
There you
winter.
go. There you
Did
go.
I say Wintershook?
Yep.
WinterShook.
I'm
Done.
Winterhook.
Done bit of shit.
WinterShook.
Kind of like an S.
WinterShook.
Yeah, they went too fancy with it.
Yeah, it's too
It
swirly.
confuses.
Smoking a pancake. WinterShook.
Smoking a pancake.
WinterShook.
Falling in a blitz.
Ooh, look how dark it is, guys.
Cigar and a waffle.
Yes.
I mean, it's no black stripe.
Porter.
Coconut porter.
It's no blue one.
I didn't expect it to be that.
There we go. Oh yeah, that's almost syrup-like. Looking. I don't know.
So, usually our beers have a bit of a theme that kind of goes with the show we're doing. It doesn't today. What this beer is the beer that survived the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We had a variety pack going on. This one made it.
Is that from my Christmas calendar variety pack
Yes.
that I accidentally left at your house?
Yes, gone.
Oh, dear.
Did it travel across 3 states?
Yeah.
It's gone. We
Great.
This is the last of it here. This and the Big Ballard back there, because that is the other beer that survived the Super Bowl.
Oh, there you go.
I'd like to, real quick, before we press on and before Travis drinks his Blue Moon, I'd just like to take a moment of silence for the birds.
Silence. Oh, there we go.
I would also like to acknowledge in the
Go Birds.
vein
Go
of
Birds.
Philadelphia, Go Birds, that though I drink crappy beers, I will also always be drinking out of a glass of the best beer in America.
Boom. Go Birds.
Pennsylvania Brewery, oldest American brewery, independent brewery.
I'll give some snaps to that. No snaps from Colin. Colin hates Philadelphia.
Yeah, Colin hates Philadelphia and
Really
all
sucks.
of you. So,
And loves Moby Dick.
Yep. Absolutely loves
Are we
it.
not cheersing? Cheers with me.
Oh, yeah, cheers.
okay, good. Pink.
Jazz.
Pink.
Prost.
Done it. That?
Tastes like Moby Dick.
We need to clip that.
Yeah. That's well, I don't know that nobody's tastes like this, but
Santa Claus.
and I'm glad I don't know.
Like when he climbs off that sleigh after a long night of
Do you think it's just tasting like straight Red Hook? This is a Christmas ale. It's a winter ale.
It's pretty Christmassy.
I bet that's what Santa's slugging down. He's got a long night.
Yeah. Why do you think he looks so rosy? You know?
It's not just from the cold. He's got some very warm clothes on.
Yeah, he's insulated very well.
He got me warm inside and out.
Yeah.
He gonna deliver them presents and happiness to them children all over the place.
Oh yeah.
didn't do mine in one.
For shame.
3 episodes in a row, I get full.
I hear you. We don't chug anything up. We don't even finish an entire beer each episode, so.
I do.
I know. Yeah. You're really holding it down over there for beer of the week.
Yeah.
Because he demands it of himself.
He does. High standards.
Now,
Peer pressure
Passion.
from himself.
the people asked, and the people were me.
Yeah, that was all the people.
Yeah.
That was all.
100% of the people who asked for that have been satisfied.
Yeah.
It was you've had those shower conversations. It was a shower conversation. It was, should I get drunk you really should get drunk.
Yeah.
You do it for the show, and we all appreciate it.
Yeah.
Listener, do not get drunk often. It's bad for you.
You could get drunk every show. Per our rating system, our show is best after 10, 12 beers.
Yeah. I think that's where we're
Give
at
yourself
right
some
now.
credit.
Get them from Special Brews.
Yeah.
If you're in Linwood. Boom. Earning that sponsorship.
Yeah.
All right. We got some segments to do. We've drank beer. First, we're going to go over to Colin for fun facts. That is what this means now.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we need to have ripples on the screen as we go into a dream montage.
Some pretty good ripples.
I thought we were doing Cthulhu stuff because we talked about Lovecraft
You can do
Country.
that.
It was pretty Ripley.
He's super Ripley, bro.
I'm going to take you back to 1942 when
Okay.
a young lad named Cornell Woolrich got his short story, It Had to Be a Murder, published in Dime Detective magazine.
Oh.
Dang.
And that story, fast forward 12 years, was written into a screenplay that was directed and shot by none other than Alfred Hitchcock. as Rear Window, which was then remade several years later and is the only one that's free streaming right now because no one cares about it. And even later after that, we got to Disturbia, starring Shia LaBeouf.
All right.
So you're
That's
saying
history.
basically carbon copy, or are you saying this is directly based on that?
Like,
Rear. So Disturbia is, based on Rear Window by Hitchcock,
Okay.
which was based on a short story
They had to be murder.
in Dime Detective.
Dime Detective. Hell yeah.
brought to us by Alfred.
And Shia LaBeouf is a detective that I would pay a dime to hire. There you go.
Absolutely.
Full circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Zing.
Like minimum a dime, or that's as much?
Max.
Max a dime. Okay, okay.
Top of the budget.
Okay.
You know.
Hey.
Colin Farrell. Couple grand.
Well, he don't miss.
He'll
Yeah,
salt
yeah.
it.
We're talking about Friday. He don't miss.
He don't miss.
Exactly.
He don't miss.
Yeah, he didn't miss a single time.
Travis picked that up.
He didn't miss an in Bruges neither, did he?
No.
Oh boy.
He could have stood to miss right there.
Coulda.
Banshees of Sharon didn't miss.
Did miss. Nope.
Total Recall. Didn't watch it, so I don't know that he missed anything.
we don't talk about Total Recall.
No. That's one of those ones that it's kind of like the one you mentioned. What did you say? I am number 4.
I am number
Yep.
4.
Has anyone watched that but Travis? I've never even heard of it.
It was pretty middling.
Of course you have, Jeremy.
Bad.
All right. Well, you got some notes there?
Oh yeah.
What you got, Jeremy? What
Okay.
notes you got there,
So,
pal?
like,
On the Disturbia?
so
You know, notes while I finish this.
yeah, exactly.
Deep breath.
Oh, good. Yeah, get some of that.
Boom. You got all of it.
Oh yeah. So this movie, it follows a pretty, follows a pretty well established trends of like when teenagers are the protagonists, teenagers are younger, adults are the worst. Every single adult, exactly the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's the kind of wholesome
Even
stuff that I like. That I
what's her name? Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, so even
Especially.
I don't know. I didn't actually rewatch this for this, but you know,
Am I the only one?
I tried, man. But then the Super Bowl happened, and okay, go Birds. I'm gonna go watch football for a few hours, eat lots of food, and then be sad.
I drove all the way from Portland to here, and the game was still going.
That's okay.
So yes,
That
is
that
the
Super
answer
Bowl
to your
took
question.
us
You
down.
didn't get one.
Yes.
Notes.
10 notes. Here we go. Yeah.
Criminy.
Adults are the worst because they're a bummer. Yay.
For sure.
2007. What a year.
It was.
I assume. I don't know. I was 15. Let's see. I have a note that is. Yeah, I always keep wondering whenever I see Shia LaBeouf, is Shia LaBeouf just. He's a good actor, right? He's a good actor.
He's Nicolas Cage, right? He's a young Nicolas Cage.
He's not.
No, he's way better than Nicolas Cage.
He's.
It's up in the air. Jury's out on that one.
I think.
But yeah, it's weird to think that he's this.
He gets typecasted really well.
As like an insane person, just running around like a psychopath. Yeah, why not? It's weird to think that he's a good actor, even though he's been in so many Transformers movies.
That does put a damper on it.
He was actually only in 2 Transformers.
He was in 3.
Yeah, he was in 3 of those.
Was he in 3?
Minimum 3.
Yeah.
He was only in
You're thinking of your boy,
Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, Mark.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same
I'm
wavelength.
thinking of Marky Mark. And I can see the confusion where he similarly, I assume, ran around like a psychopath, just yelling at people and had the muscles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boston.
Yeah, he's from Boston.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
I just dropped that in random conversations now.
That's good.
Basically because of Travis.
That's good. He's a trendsetter. Just look at him. Yeah.
I'll just say it in the shower sometimes and just laugh to myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
May the force
May.
remain with y'all.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man. Oh, God. And, you know, Travis was talking during the debate that he was being distracted by something. And the only thing I was ever distracted by watching this movie is wondering, like, is the Rihanna song, are these related in some way?
I did that too.
No.
Like, was it?
Yeah.
Did they have anything to do with each other, or was that just a coincidence?
I think it was a coincidence.
Think they might play Rihanna's Disturbia in the end credits.
I mean, you would want to.
That only makes
That's
sense.
the only relation. But
Okay.
the reason, do you remember, you haven't rewatched it in a while, so do you remember why it's called Disturbia?
Well, probably because they're in suburbia and disturbing things happen.
Yes, but
I assume.
they're like, oh, they mentioned the title in the movie. There's a scene where they're watching The Neighbor for the first time together, him and Ashley, and the girl that he's brought home starts dancing, and they start trying to match music to her dancing, and they match. I think it's like Paradise and Disturbia, this like old '60s song matches to her dancing, and Shia LaBeouf's character is like, "Wow, Paradise and Disturbia, you never would have thought," and it's like that meme where Leonardo DiCaprio is like, "That's it."
You did the thing. It's good.
Did the thing.
Yeah. No, that's all I got, you know? Solid flick from actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Collins. Now it's for y'all. All right. Travis.
I was not lying. I do get the undertone of the like serial killer and Disturbia thing, but I forgot how much time this movie takes on the teenage romance, and it would have been fine if the actress wasn't so fucking awful.
Yeah, she's not great.
But Sarah wrote, like, maybe I shouldn't say Sarah. I don't think Sarah Roemer's listening to our show. Maybe you've gotten better, but that performance is not
I don't know.
really not good. Shia is, I will always say, I think Shia LaBeouf's a little crazy. I think I hear stuff about his like personal whatever that I don't agree with, but as an actor, he's fantastic. He's knocked it out of the park in a lot of performances, and I think he does actually capture the like emotional stuntedness of a teenage boy, kind of going through a lot of trauma in this. So his performance was good. I will say, controversial opinion, Carrie-Anne Moss is overrated, always has been.
How dare you?
I don't know.
Not that great.
The worst thing about this movie was it sidelined her into being just a mom from like a daytime soap op. It's like, we're going to hire Carrie-Anne Moss, an amazing actress, and she's just going to be a mom, and we're not going to give her anything interesting.
Besides the Matrix trilogy, name a Carrie-Anne Moss movie.
Disturbia.
Can't?
Yes. No, she was in Memento. And she killed it.
Boom.
She was in Memento, and she killed it as a girlfriend who took advantage of him fucking big time. So you think she's a good character, and then you're like, oh my god, she's like a psycho. However,
Touche.
they get better.
Touche. But
Spoilers.
to round off,
Oscar-winning actress Dame Carrie-Anne Moss sidelined in this movie as a fucking daytime TV Hallmark mom. Way to go. And then we're going to make this awesome serial killer, and he's also just going to be like,
Sidelined.
Sidelined by Shia LaBeouf.
I will say I do agree with Colin in that. I think every kind of plot point besides Shia LaBeouf's is secondary and really like doesn't play to the main arcing story. I don't think it's a well-edited movie. It takes way too long for them to get to the actual like murder stuff. The friend is comedic relief, and that's about it. The girlfriend is Clay. I'm sorry to say this, like you came with this point of like, oh, it helped, it like related to me is this like, I thought watching it now from my lens now, I was like, this is like every teenage boy's like just wet dream.
100%.
Girl next door who's not like other girls, and like literally his whole monologue when he brings her up onto the balcony and is telling her all the things he's noticed watching her, I was like, oh my god, this is the Fedora Kid. And I was a Fedora Kid, I can say that. He's like, you know, you don't read People magazine, you read real books. And I was like, shoot me in the face. Like, no. I hated every moment of that. And I was like, this is just kind of that teenage boy's fantasy of being a creep, but it's okay, and they fall in love with you anyway.
Yeah,
And then
it's
there's
that concept of the movie.
My note was, the more I thought about the movie, the more I was like, ankle monitors don't work that way.
Yeah.
They don't work that way. Like, I've gone to a doctor's office and someone had an ankle monitor on. You can leave. Like, as long as you tell your parole officer where you're going, you can go wherever you want. So, like, the movie made a serious point of, like, trying to force this explanation of why he has to stay in this area.
Movies don't understand how things work at all.
Wait, can we talk about?
Yes.
Did anyone else rewatch this? Do you remember who the cop is that gives him the ankle monitor? Because it blew my mind. It's freaking Viola.
Really?
You're right.
Oh,
Viola.
yeah.
Now that I think about it.
And I was thinking,
Yet another fantastic actress sidelined in this movie.
it comes up in my mind because you mentioned that's not how they work. And like, I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she starts going through how the ankle monitor works, and it's like hooked to the modem, and there's this power thing. And my girlfriend's like, what if the power goes out? Does it just stop working? And I was like, I don't think
He also fumbles with a film camera, and then the flash goes off, and I was like, I had that same freaking camera. It doesn't have a flash. and it like, he accidentally took a picture. It doesn't work that way. That camera does not work that way.
all that to say, Clay, I don't.
Great movie, 5 stars.
Yeah. I do actually genuinely enjoy Disturbia. It is a very nostalgic movie to me. I do agree Shia LaBeouf is definitely like a creep in it, and it definitely perpetuates that idea that like you could be a creep but it's okay as long as you're endearing, which is a problem. And that would have totally been my argument if I rolled low. But I didn't, so I ignored that whole bit. I also ignored, I agree, weakest link is definitely the lead actress. Don't agree with you on Ronnie. I think Ronnie did a really good job, actually, with that performance, and he had some incredibly emotional moments, especially when he was, like, in the moments of terror. Thought he did an awesome job portraying terror and fear.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of the dialogue was very genuine, especially between Ronnie and Shia LaBeouf. They seem like real friends to me. So I did really enjoy that aspect of the movie.
Well, I also liked how the serial killer is right there the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, it's horrifying without any supernatural anything. Like, there's no costumes, there's no masks, there's no nothing. Like, this guy is smart and creepy, Silence of the Lambs style.
Bundy vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two things. I think, one, the reason I thought of Fright Night is because, you know, David Morris's Mr. Turner has the scene where he comes in and is like flirting with the mom. Fright Night does that exact same scene, but like it was hard for me not to just think of Colin Farrell doing it so much better.
Yeah.
I will never forget Colin Farrell's, like, there's this subtle scene in Fright Night where he can't enter the house without permission, and Anton Yelchin's character like hands him beer but then like pulls it just inside the doorway, and it's the moment that Colin Farrell's vampire realizes he knows, and there's just this moment there, and I thought of that and I was like, they just did it better. But the other thing is, I think, to your point, Clay, I do think Aaron Yu, I'm being a little unfair to Ronnie, and that's just because if you look up Aaron Yu's kind of filmography, he's been, ever since Disturbia, he's been typecast as the guy from Disturbia.
That's because he did such a good job.
He does a really good job, but it's just like I've never seen him do anything else, so I don't give him like enough credit. But
Well,
like,
when you want the best, you get the best.
because of this performance that he got cast in like 21 Friday the 13th, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and they're all the same character.
That is unfortunate. But you can't actually hold that against this movie. Again, that kind of is a testament to the movie, so or his role in it anyway. But I agree. Though I do have to disagree with you on a sort of fundamental level about the lead actress. Though she is don't think her performance was the best. I do think her character is a real person. Because like you said, you were the fedora kid. That conversation, that's a real conversation, bro. Okay? And like all of us who like were book reading kids and not the football players, and like we pride ourselves on like, I'm gonna charm girls with my wits. That was like, you know, at least what I like thought I would get girls with. It didn't work, but like I thought that was my ticket to ride. And I definitely have had those conversations where I was like, hey, you read, sup.
Fully disagree with you because I don't think Ashley is a real person. I think Ashley is the girl that the Fedora Kid writes. Like, I think the screenwriter of the movie is a Shia LaBeouf, like, is the Kale type character. It's like Patrick Ruth. I love Name of the Wind, but Patrick Rothfuss's female characters are all written by a neckbeard.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. 100%.
Not your average girl. And it's like, that's not a real person. That is who you want to be a real person. And that's what I feel Ashley's character is. No girl next door is actually like that.
Did I say that's a real person or that's a real conversation? Because I think I said that's a real conversation.
I think you said at the beginning that that's a real person, but then you went to real conversation.
Okay. I think you might be right. That's what I'm double checking it. I'm not actually sure if I said both.
We may never know.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that's a real conversation. Like,
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done a lot of like reevaluating. Like, wow, I was a douchebag in high school. And
Absolutely. We all were.
Shocking.
That's what high school was for.
I do remember seeing a like making of for this movie where they all the actors are in it and the director and screenwriter and stuff, and like the screenwriter was talking about it and the director and they were like, yeah, we were just like wanted to get that voyeur sort of modern life, modern technology, and like looking into other people and that you know, voyeur understanding and lens on the world. And I was like, who are you making this for? What do you mean? The voyeur? Like the voyeur? You're talking about you. You are talking about you're a voyeur.
You're talking about,
and you wanted to make a film about that.
What that word was when you said it.
Right. Yeah.
I think what really like
it's a style of porn, and that's what you wanted to do. PG-13.
I think what really lifted the veil for me was there's a character in the movie that's, what do they call her? She's like a popular girl in the class that has
Skinny Psycho?
Yeah, Skinny Psycho. And there's like a few moments where they have these points of like, Ashley like runs into her in a store and accidentally calls her skinny psycho, and she's like clearly upset.
Mhm.
And there's a moment where the narrative could have like taken some time to say like, we're all people. Like
Mhm.
even the popular kids have their shit and are struggling through things, which took me a long time to realize because I was a fedora kid. But it doesn't do that. It just skips past it. And then the next scene, Ashley literally just calls her skinny psycho again. And I was like, no, that's not a good message. And like, that's just re-solidifying the fact, like just saying Kale's the hero over and over again
Mhm.
kind of makes that message clear of like, oh, if you're popular, you're not
You
a
suck.
good person. And it,
Yeah.
And it's one of the weirdest things in like movies and TV where like the kids who are popular, they're all awful. And it's okay to be awful to them because nobody actually likes them. But then what? How are they actually popular then?
Mm-hmm. That is actually definitely a common issue in a lot of stories. And I mean, I think a lot of stories are written by writers. And a lot of writers maybe weren't the popular kids.
weren't the popular kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
But
course.
another
Yeah.
another comparison is, I don't know, have any of you seen Edge of 17?
No.
That movie does this same narrative kind of beautifully of like there's a sister and a brother character, and the sister is unpopular and the brother is popular, and through most of the narrative you're against the brother, and then at the end you see like his side of the story and you're like, oh, he also has a lot he's going through, and
Mhm.
like he just had like a tight group of friends that happen to be good at sports. So the sister hates him. Like, I don't know.
I take it back.
So-
I think I did actually see that movie. Thank you for the
Really?
recap. Now I know. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It is definitely paint by numbers, though. I agree with that. And the female character, definitely the weakest link on pretty much every level. I agree with what you're saying. She is like the perception of the girl next door from the point of view of our main character more than she is a real, well-realized character herself. I have to agree with that.
I think when it gets to the horror, though, when it gets to the thriller portion in the second half, well done. Like, I will, if I would have rolled higher, I would have said that. Like, I think the tension of him being like, can't really leave his safe haven because of the ankle band is a cool narrative. The cops coming.
Well, just nobody trusts him. I mean, it's that classic, Spielberg. The kids know what's going on, and none of the parents or cops or adults will believe them.
I did like that. I just thought it took way too long to get to it.
I don't know. I don't really agree with that. I did kind of like that. I felt they dropped a couple things, but just enough. And when you rewatch it, I feel like you notice it a little more, but you just did that and it still didn't do it for you, so that's okay. What else was I going to say? I do love that actor that played the serial killer. Forget his name, but I've seen him in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. So, is Travis the only one who rewatched this for the show?
I didn't need to.
Is that why
I've watched
he's the only one
Disturbia.
who thinks it's bad?
No, my opinion on Disturbia is solidified.
Okay, that's good.
I lived in CQ, as you know, and we didn't have internet.
That's true.
We only had Disturbia.
I had a DVD case,
DVD.
and it had maybe 20 movies in it, and one of them was Disturbia, so I've seen it more than it warrants
Yeah.
watching. Like, it isn't a watch it 20 times movie. I could have probably been good watching it maybe 3 times in my entire life, like tops, but I've watched it maybe 23 times. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I get that. My DVD collection grew a lot in CQ.
It had to. It had to. I bought all the Game of Thrones coming out. Yeah. But Disturbia was there, Old Faithful.
David Morse was in The Green Mile, The Negotiator, Contact, Disturbia, 12 Monkeys.
G.
George
Jake.
Washington
What a
in
legend.
John Adams.
He's great.
He's awesome.
Green Mile, especially.
That's the one I was saying. I remember him 12 Monkeys. He's in
I think Disturbia gets some credit because it does a lot of it's very much like Rear Window, like really not a good movie compared to other much better movies of the time. But there's a lot of stuff in it that sort of resonates. Like there's a lot of well done scenes that you remember later on, and that I think influenced other people and other movies and films and stuff.
Well, and I do think it has good dialogue. I do genuinely think that. Maybe not always the best delivered, but with Shia LaBeouf at the helm, he is phenomenal, and he really carries that movie. And he's having conversations with almost every other character, almost every scene. Is there a scene where Shia LaBeouf isn't part of the conversation, like other than if the serial killer is there without him?
Right.
But yeah, so he's really
Scene between him and the serial killer, her and the serial killer.
right. That's the one I thought of too. And like the mom and the serial killer when she goes over to apologize.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, you've got Shia LaBeouf's energy on screen,
Yeah.
and that's going to bring your other actors up too. So
Yeah, his
I think
energy
that's a
does
big
a
part of
lot.
it.
I think too, like, if you put it not in the category of thrillers in general and horror in general, but in the categories PG-13 rated thrillers,
That's true.
it is pretty high up because not many of those are very good.
It's pretty tough to pull that off, and they still got away with it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
You know, at the end when it ramps up. The tension in the house at the end when he's in there and the serial killer is coming home, and that was all pretty intense, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many beers?
Yeah.
6.
I agree with that.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
I was just drinking 6 beers every day in CQ, so it's part of the nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 of those, a few hits of something, I don't know.
Vitamins. Yeah.
Vitamins. And
Love
minerals.
vitamins.
I'm gonna have to say 12 because when I watch it now. Here's my logic: when I watch it now,
Mm-hmm.
I have to forget how much I used to be like that.
Yeah.
It's a personal issue.
I gotta drink away the high school memories of Milady Travis.
Oh,
Ooh.
so
Did you say my lady?
did you
were
say
doing
lady
that?
to a person?
Were you walking down the hallway?
genuine? Were you genuine about it?
I never got that bad, but I definitely was the like, nobody likes the nice guy kid.
Oh, the worst. I get you.
If there's any young or teenage fans, probably not, but if there's any teenage boy fans who are listening to this and are like, that might be me, stop that behavior.
Hey,
Stop.
this
I mean,
is
they're
a-
just all on TikTok now.
This is a public service announcement to all those youngins out there who think that the problem is that nobody likes nice guys anymore. The problem is that you actually suck a bit. And that's okay. It's okay to suck a little bit. Get better.
Yeah, you can do it.
We all did it, I assume.
You can do it.
I suck a lot less now.
Me too.
I peaked back then.
That was when you finished Moby Dick for the first time. Total peak.
I was in drama, you know,
Slaying it.
slaying it.
Just absolutely slaying it.
Just crushing it every level, every day.
Were you the Ronnie of the class? Were you just making the whole class laugh
Oh yeah.
with your speech and debate skills?
Oh yeah. Speaking
Were you,
drama.
Colin, were you the edgy theater kid?
I kind of got along with everyone. I was one of those weirdos that like went around,
the weird
could go to
weird
eat at a different lunch table every day.
Yeah, I did that too. Football team and robotics class.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't go that crazy.
Well, I just did both of those things.
That doesn't make any sense.
You did both of those things.
I mean,
Who
yeah.
are we waiting on with beers?
Colin?
Is it Colin? And
Is-
6.
All right.
6 beers.
11 and a half.
Okay. Why the half?
So I guess it's just Clay and
I
I.
don't know. I just felt it in my soul when it came out of my mouth. I
Okay.
don't know what happened.
Yeah.
By the time you get to 11, the sort of half is just sort of sitting there.
Yeah, it's probably because I pass out halfway through the number 12.
Yeah, probably. That
Never
makes sense.
totally gets finished.
It's a lot of beers.
Yeah.
All right, so 6 to 12 is what we've got for our rating. Utterly chaos. And thank you, Special Brews,
Yes, thank you.
for giving us beer.
You're making us feel very
Thank you, Cascade Writers, for existing in general and for letting us be your official podcast. And thank you, Colin and Jeremy. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, me. Most importantly, thank you, listeners. And thank you, Pedro Pascal. And we will see you all
Good
next
night,
week.
Pedro.
Love you, Pedro. Thank you, Pedro. Good night.
Yes, we do love you. That's good.